Good evening, everyone. This is Geek Posium. My name is Darren Silver at Hentai.com, your place for cosplay lewds and entertainment news. And this is Geek Posium. We have a lot to talk about today, Shep.
Yeah, including news just breaking.
News just breaking. Is this about World War III?
No.
Okay, because I have a great because everyone's talking about World War III. I've been playing lots of Command and Conquer lately, and I remember some great speeches from that, like this.
You are welcome here. If no one else wants what you have to offer, we do. We want to call you to the highest purpose of your life. We want your time and energy and effort and your will and your goodwill. We want to work with you to make things better, to produce life more abundant for you and for your wife and children and for your community and your country and the world.
And that is what we are fighting for in Command and Conquer.
You're gonna get us banned off YouTube. Speaking of which,
Rackets just got banned.
He just got nuked.
I don't know why. Like, did he say something egregious?
No.
Did he use gamer words?
No, he didn't.
Did he say the N word? Nuclear?
No.
All right.
None of that.
All right. Well, I don't know what's up with that. I guess we'll figure that out as we go. Lots of news this week. Did we put anything in about Elon Musk buying Twitter?
No, we didn't. That's also breaking. That broke yesterday.
That did break yesterday, and I had a video clip about that, but I don't know where the hell I put it. There's too many video clips now. I've been working on too many meme videos lately, and like the amount of sheer absolute terror that the journalists had when they're like, "Oh my God, Twitter's a private company; they can just make their rules arbitrary," and I'm like, "That's what the Republicans have been complaining about for years."
That's what people have been complaining about for years.
You guys didn't care because it all
because it was you in charge.
Yeah,
and now it's someone else in charge, and you're complaining.
You're like, "How dare you?" And my general thought on this is very simple thought. So those of you who are watching the video case, here you go. Those of you who are in the audio, we'll explain in a second. We don't like journalists.
We are going very hard in the paint.
I am just listen. If we just
are we gonna say things about maps and walls now?
No, but if Trump could just tweet about Gamergate.
Oh Lord.
We don't like journalists. We don't. It's just an ongoing thing. They are the elite of the elite. And that is an issue. That's something that should not have happened. And we're kind of upset that it did. So what are we opening up with Shep?
Well, we already started with tech news with Twitter.
All right.
So Meta sued for allegedly dodging Apple's privacy rules.
That is hilarious.
Mostly that the Facebook and Instagram apps can track you across websites across websites even when you're not using the app.
See, that's disturbing. I already knew Facebook was monitoring me, which is why all of my stuff is weird and doesn't make sense. Because I'm sitting there, I'm like, you know what I need? I need a video editor. And they went, "Oh, you need video assets." What? No, video editor.
Editor, not video assets.
I don't need video assets. I need someone to make videos for me or take video that I've already recorded and edit it down. And honestly, Fiverr is looking like my best bet on that at this point because we're having work issues at HentaiCake.com. I'm working on it, guys. I'm working on it, but like I'm one man.
Wait, we're still having issues?
I'm having issues with getting video content edited and sent to me, which is an issue.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's an issue. That is an issue. But as for this, so Apple is suing Meta, which is hilarious. And I don't like either company, so I hope they both lose a lot of money out of this.
Hopefully they how would I put this? The best thing would be some good precedent so this doesn't happen again.
Yes.
That's That's a good neutral statement,
That's a good neutral statement.
but also principled, I think.
Honestly, Meta or Facebook should not be going around another company's guidelines, even if those company guidelines are terrible. I understand that.
Yeah, even if they're terrible, you don't go around their guidelines. Now I know everyone stares at rules and tries to find the loophole.
I don't stare. I just listen. I go, oh, that's an interesting loophole. Whoops.
But it's clear that the if you're on Apple's platform, you can't create apps that track users. And Meta found a way around the built-in blocks for that. So,
yeah, there we are. Because only Apple's allowed to go and track their users. Only them. No one else.
How is Apple the least evil company now?
You know, I don't know when that. No,
they're clearly evil, but they're the least evil.
I mean, out of all of the big tech companies, yes. I would rate them as the least evil out of the big tech. Out of all tech companies, I want to say maybe Minds is the least evil out of all the tech companies. Even if they ban Loli.
Is that why Loli is trending on Twitter?
It's one of the reasons why. The other reason is because Twitter has to go and clean their shit. And so things that are naturally actually trending have to actually trend now.
Oh, Lord.
So, unfortunately for you guys, Cyberpunk 2077, the girl that everyone loves is a lowly girl. And Rebecca is adorable, and she wears like just an oversized zip-up sweatshirt of some kind. Not a hoodie, just a zip-up sweatshirt of some kind. It has like the giant fucking punching Judy hands. Really, really great character. We will get into that later. But that's one of the reasons why. And why are they doing that? Because Elon Musk bought them, and they went, "Oh shit, turn it off, turn it off."
They did this. They did this earlier when he initially made the deal, and then it's like, oh, the deal's not going to happen. Even though they sued to try to make it happen, but now it's actually we were like, I'm going to buy you. No, you're not. Yes, you are. No, I'm not. Yes, I am. No, you're not.
It's a fucking Bugs Bunny skit at this point.
It's a Bugs Bunny skit.
Oh, I'm pretty sure the whole back and forth was him just trying to get a better deal. But I think at this point he's looking at what's going on in the world and going, you know what? Too much damage is being done. I need to do something about this. Because I don't know anyone who actually wants to go to war with Russia. Everyone who, even the people who go, I stand with Ukraine, outside of like journalists are like, yeah, no, we shouldn't like be funding this.
Yeah.
Of course, it doesn't help that I'm libertarian, so everyone I know is also like, we shouldn't be funding this.
Yeah, it's to the point that just I've been monitoring what's going on in the Ukraine-Russia war. Russia's toast, but it's starting to get to the point that they're so toast that they're gonna have to break out the nuclear weapons.
It's getting pretty bad, and it doesn't help.
And it's it would be like Ukraine is nearing victory, but now's the time to give Russia an out. Otherwise, things will start glowing here soon.
And unfortunately, all of the big tech media algorithms are pushing for no surrender, no way out. I'm like, you don't do that to a nuclear power. You don't. That's how you get people killed. You have to give a man an out. Always give a man an out. If you don't give a man an out, you're going to see how dangerous a cornered animal is.
Yeah, you do everything you can to make sure they don't have nukes, but once they have nukes, you have to give them an out, or else things will go sideways very quickly.
Yeah, hell, not even nukes, just generally large weapons that could destroy things. Always give a man an out.
Yeah,
I learned this in war. You know, if you give them an out, hopefully they will take it. Hopefully some of them will be like, you know what, not worth it. My life is more important. But,
this is also something that's predated the nuclear age. What's one way to make sure your soldiers fight like hell? Cut off their only way to retreat.
Mm-hmm.
That their only way to live is victory.
Or in the U.S. military way, just kill off our officer. Because at that point, good luck. We have one standing rule: kill everything. Which is why every other country, you kill the officer, they don't know what to do. They overall retreat. American military, you kill an officer, hey, we don't have chains on ourselves anymore. Take that land.
It also helps that the initiative of the individual soldiers is something that's been baked in since day one in the American military.
Well, maybe not anymore. It's weird now. I've looked at some other stuff and I'm like, what is this?
But it dates back all the way to dates back to the militia, but it got codified when von Steuben was retraining the Continental Army from scratch at Valley Forge.
Yeah.
And as he's training the training cadre, they started, instead of just doing what he says and learning, they started to ask why, and he thought it was cool.
Yeah, it's a good.
And he said, "Wait a minute, this is completely different from any European army, and this could actually be an asset."
Yeah, and unfortunately, everyone else still doesn't do that. So here we are. Anyway, so why are we talking about this? Because all the big tech censorship and what have you is causing all this stuff to happen, and Apple and Facebook will take your information and will push you these weird ideas constantly. I keep seeing these things. All this pro-Ukraine stuff, and I'm like, this is not good. Stop doing that. And if I see one more freaking news article from Facebook telling me that, Biden is sending more money to Ukraine, like, this is not what I want to hear.
Especially when it's going to be a very cold winter for a lot of our allies because of this.
Whatever, that sounds like a their problem.
It's also going to be an us problem because
hey,
we're already in a recession.
Biden has said we are no longer a net exporter of oil. We are all about green energy. Anyway, moving on to the next article. Let's before we get into this.
Yeah, let's before this stops being a geek news and becomes politics all the time.
Yes, we don't need that. Moving on.
Sad news.
Yes,
Inoki passed away.
So for those of you who don't know Antonio Inoki, he was a wrestler and a wrestling enthusiast who seriously pushed Japanese wrestling to the entire world. He was the Vince McMahon of Japan.
So I believe there were two big names in Japanese wrestling. There was Giant Baba and there was Antonio Inoki.
Mm-hmm.
And they were rivals. They were actually trained by the same guy. Baba was big here in the West, and his promotion, All Japan Pro Wrestling, was actually the best of Western wrestling. He was able to get all the best Western talent, and Hulk Hogan. But he was able to bring in all the best Western talent at will. That's how like a lot of wrestlers back in the 60s and 70s made their money, was they would go wrestle for Baba.
Yeah.
And Inoki, meanwhile, had to innovate.
Because he didn't have the same big names. So if you don't have
the same big names, so
if you don't have the money, you have to learn to get creative real fast.
And he didn't have access. He always wanted to one up Baba, but Baba could put the title on himself whenever he wanted, because the NWA World title on himself whenever he wanted. So Inoki had to find new gimmicks to say, "Hey, I'm the true world champion," and come up with new things. Strong style, as we know it, comes from Inoki adapting the Southern style of wrestling and combining it with more, which was already pretty realistic to how a fight is, and making it even more realistic. And that eventually, when he fought Ali in a shoot, that became the foundation for MMA.
Yep. So you have a sad moment. I mean, Antonio Inoki has been given multiple awards. I believe he's in the World Wrestling Hall of Fame. He's an ongoing known person. He continued after retiring wrestling to continue producing and promoting wrestling in Japan. He was literally the Vince McMahon of Japan upon putting his tights away. So this man was an ongoing just legend, and to see him die it's a sad moment for wrestling and for people in general.
He still has the attendance record for a promotion he put on.
Yes.
Now, that wrestling show was kind of forced. That was the show he did at the Goodwill show he did in North Korea.
Oh, right. Good old North Korea. You guys are going to watch this wrestling thing and enjoy it, or else.
He co-produced that with WCW, and I've seen footage from that in some it is weird because no one in the crowd knows what's going on.
Not a single person.
And it was a 2-night show, and they only figure out what they're supposed to do when they only start figuring out what wrestling is in the last match when it was Inoki v. Flair. And Flair, both Inoki and Flair were such great wrestlers that they could get a reaction out of anybody.
Yeah, they were true showmen.
Even though both were at the end of their careers. Well, Flair would go on for another 10 years.
I mean, yeah, Flair.
But it's Flair.
Flair just kept going, and we're just like, Flair, you're old. Please stop taking cocaine. You have to stop. Woo! You have to stop. Woo! You have to, please. Woo! I'm going on a plane. Woo! Oh no, Flair. All right.
Plane rides from hell. Moving on.
Moving on. What's next?
Tech news, but also video game news.
So this one is weird.
They say they're shutting down, but now when we got this article, they were shutting down, but now maybe they're rolling it back.
So Google officially has stopped supporting Stadia, which, if the company who makes the system says we're done, they're done. That's usually the end of it. But for some reason, Activision Blizzard is saying, no, we're going to keep making games for the Stadia. And I'm like, are you going to keep making games for Stadia, or have you already made the games and you refuse to fucking back off?
I think they already made the games and they refuse to back off.
Because support's done. So I'm not sure what they're planning to do with this.
Yeah, the back end's going to shut down in January.
We're done. And I'm happy I never bought a Stadia. I heard about the concept and I said, that's stupid. And that was kind of it for me. I was like, that sounds dumb. I'm not getting it.
Stadia works in other parts of the world that have good access to the internet.
It works in cities.
It works in cities, but it doesn't work in large portions of the United States.
Which
the United States
rural and suburban. So
we take the United States, most of the country does have a decent enough internet access to get Netflix, but not necessarily game streaming.
Yeah, and that's a completely different.
And game streaming is a thing that they've tried for years. I remember when I had shitty DSL, that it came with game streaming, and it wasn't very good.
No, it was not. All I remember is even with me having a dedicated gaming line, it was still I'm barely hitting the numbers I need, which was because I was living in the suburbs. It's this isn't in South Carolina. I'm this isn't really going to work, but I'm going to do what I can. And just because, again, there are parts of the United States that haven't had that infrastructure built in, and the companies refuse to use money to go and upgrade that stuff because the government went, oh, we have it built in place. You have it built in place in cities, because most of our Congress people come from cities. They don't care.
Yeah.
I'm just and this is why when I become a congressperson, what do you do, Darren? First of all, more gaming level version of streaming across the United States. I'm gonna get the gamers to vote for me. That's what I'm gonna do.
If only a politician would tweet about Gamergate.
Are we trying to get me banned from Twitter before my political event so then I can sue them? Thank you, Ron DeSantis.
Anyways.
So that's Stadia. That's a weird thing. So they're dead, sort of.
Sort of.
Some AAA companies are still making games for them, and I'm almost certain it's because they probably went, oh, we will build for this. Oh, this is shutting down. I told you what we're doing.
Yeah, they already put resources in, and they're gonna
finish. Mhm.
They're not going to do what Warner has done with some things. Oh, this is almost done. We're shutting it down. We're just taking the L.
Hey, it worked out fine for me. I have been enjoying new content arriving on HBO Max.
No, that there was a couple of things on HBO Max that they're not even releasing on HBO Max.
Yeah, because they were terrible. No one watched them.
Well, no one wanted them, but they just took the L.
Yes,
Are
I'm
you
okay
serious?
I'm okay with that too. Like I'm sitting there, like some people like look this cartoon died. I went, okay, well,
Okay.
what do you want me to tell you? Well, it was really good. Do you have anything for it? No. Well, I can't take your word for it because you also thought like the Star Wars sequels were good, and I can't really take your word on any of these things. Like I know your level of taste, and it's kind of shit.
Uh,
All right, what's next?
Next up, so Microsoft's trying to acquire a bunch of Japanese publishers.
Good.
They're the Xbox Series S and Series X outsells PS5s some weeks. That's
Most
how
weeks.
crap. That's how crap Sony is doing right now.
Sony's doing terribly because they began saying people can't have their games on their system because they don't like the culture, and PlayStation was all about put on whatever you want, adjust it for the next country coming in, but put on whatever you want.
Yeah, it was the anti Nintendo. Except now Nintendo is free.
Nintendo's all like, "Hey, you guys want Necopera? We'll give you Necopera. Hey, you guys want a rhythm game where you massage girls, but you also get to see their boobs? Here you go." And I'm like, when did this become a thing?
When did this happen? What happened to that Nintendo seal of quality that says I can't have nice things?
I mean, we still get nice things, but it's like not nearly as good as it should be.
Yeah.
But this is great news overall. I would like Microsoft to, I don't know about acquiring major Japanese publishers, but at least talking with them and getting their games on the Xbox and the PC via something else besides Steam, because Steam does need to take it on the chin on occasion.
On occasion.
It just needs to.
Speaking of censorship in Steam, Chaos Head Noah is no longer coming to Steam because of guideline changes.
Yep, and Spike Chunsoft went, okay, we'll go somewhere else, and I'm quite okay with that. I do not need a watered down version of Chaos Head. Chaos Head is a weird visual novel game that kind of pushes the boundaries on human decency, and I don't mean that for like sexual reasons. I mean that for like violence, gore, what have you.
Now this confused me because there's straight up porn now on Steam.
Yes.
But there's and I know Chaos Head's not porn, but it's like, that's usually the line in America.
Well,
it's not the line in other places, but in America, that's usually the line. We allow a lot more violence and a lot less nudity, but.
Well, it's changing now. At least for PC, it's changing. Nudity's okay, and violence is bad. And I'm like, why are we doing this the opposite way? Like, like the whole point.
It's like the '90s all over, like the '90s religious right all over again, but ass backwards.
Yeah, it's like, you guys need more nudity, but also we need to make sure that no one's really sexual looking. So, and I'm like, what do you do? No, nudity should always be kind of sexual. It should always be taboo, something that inspires the heart and entices and inflames the soul. Of course, I'm also an art student, so like for me, it's like you do this, it's what entices and inflames the soul. And people are like, what do you mean? I was an art student. What do you want from me? Okay, like this is what I see, the beauty of the human body, which taboo but also beautiful. Whereas gore was all about, oh God, wow, that's shocking.
Yeah.
I mean that's how I felt playing Manhunt forever ago. That was a game. I'm like, how did this ever get on anything ever? It wasn't a very good game. It was just really violent. Revenge porn, the game. That's what Manhunt was. Now.
So, Yeah, so Chaos said no, it's not coming to PC. It's not coming to PC. But still weird. It's coming to Switch.
I told you, Switch, baby, all the way, all the way.
That's weird as hell.
Whatever. I'm quite okay with my choice of getting a Switch. I'm not in any way, shape, or form angry about that purchase.
I'm gonna have to pick this up before I get on a plane for 19 hours.
Might be a good plan. Remember, in Japan, everything is smaller.
I can tell. I've started apartment shopping.
Everything is smaller. So heads up, everything is smaller. So just be aware.
I think in order to get a bed that will fit my fat ass, I'm gonna have to get a book a long-term stay at a hotel.
Might be necessary.
Because I'm looking, it's just like, well, the only way I'm gonna fit on that bed is if I fit in this apartment is if I use the futon and not the bed, because I can't fit the bed.
Yep. Honestly, the futon isn't bad. I would suggest trying a futon if you're just going to Japan, but like, it's on you. It's personal preference.
Yeah.
Anyway, what's next?
Next, we already did this. Blue Archive.
I remember I was saying that this wasn't porn before, and I have said it repeatedly that it is not porn.
I told you so.
And now they're splitting the app into a porn version and a not porn version. And I'm like, this upsets
I told you
me.
so.
This upsets. You know why it upsets me? Because my favorite characters are all lolies, and I'm like, why? Why would you hurt all of my lovely head pat girls? Like my absolute favorite is like this maid girl who is also like a gangster. She's like, I'm part of the cleaning club, so I wear a maid outfit. I'm also the leader. Also, what, you want to touch me? How dare you? Let's get. I'm like, oh yeah, and then I got her bunny girl outfit. I'm like, yes. Now she's angry and in high heels, and she can't stand the high heels. So yeah, that's an ongoing thing. But like, yeah,
I have questions, but they all wait until after the stream.
Is it about whether or not they're sexy? No, it's not really sexy. It's just all the characters.
I have questions about you.
oh, I have lots of answers about me, but it's just
what the hell?
It's okay. It's all right. Anyway, so Blue Archive splitting up into two. This is breaking news. This happened like right before the stream started. I was just like, oh, click.
Well, you say it happened. That time on that article says 10:30.
Yeah, but it didn't pop up on my timeline like today. So
yeah,
like 10 minutes ago. I was like,
we were getting ready for the stream, and I just see you, motherfucker.
I'm like, God damn it! I wanted to enjoy my wholesome game, my wholesome girls doing cute girl things. Also, they fire guns at people.
You've been trying to get me into this game forever.
It's very wholesome considering, and then you're like, oh no. And it's like, adult version. Fuck. Well, I know what version I'm using now because I don't like censorship. I'm going to have to change my entire team to giant mommy milkers.
Lord.
It's the only way to go and combat this now. I don't like the mommy milker girls. They're all too sexual and they're all.
You say that this game is wholesome, and then you say you don't like the mommy milker girls.
Well, they're
way too sexual.
Well, they're very. Yeah, come on, let's go somewhere, Commander. Ooh, I'm like, I'm supposed to be your principal or something like that. All right. Okay. Look, I'll give us a musical change up while you pull up the next article. Okay.
Not shown, but I've been monitoring the Rackets Discord. Apparently, Tim Pool's thrown a bitch fit on stream about this.
Good to know. Good to know. Well, those of you who are watching us over Tim Pool, thank you for staying. We appreciate it.
Thank you for staying.
As for that, again, I'm going to say this. That was not my best work for edits, but I was also like, I'm going to just put this through really fast. And we were talking about lolis.
Thanks for throwing the bone, by the way.
Yeah. See, wholesome lolis. That's all you need. Wholesome. I don't know why you guys got to make this wrong. Anyway.
So, anyways,
more video game news. Was starting off with CD Projekt Red.
They realized apparently Edgerunners was reinvigorated interest in Cyberpunk to the point that they're launching a new Cyberpunk game.
One, two, they're
also doing more Witcher games, and they're coming up with a new IP.
Yes, so this is good news overall. Right now it's called Cyberpunk Orion being the code name. What does this mean? Well, Cyberpunk 2077, if you haven't played, it ends on a downer because no one in Night City really gets a happy ending. That's kind of the entire point of Cyberpunk.
That's kind of the point of the genre, as no one gets a happy ending.
It's no one really gets a happy ending. You kind of live your life. You take the hits on the chin and you roll with it.
I mean, Cyberpunk is kind of derived from Orwellian literature.
Yeah,
no one gets a happy ending in Orwell because it's a warning.
Yeah,
and Cyberpunk is a warning.
It is an ongoing warning, especially about taking our corporeal or our minds or our souls, whatever, and digitizing them might be bad. That's kind of the entire warning about Cyberpunk 2077. The
reason Ghost in the Shell standalone complex is post Cyberpunk is good is even though that is also a downer, good endings are possible in the standalone complex universe.
Yes. Now, what's funny about this is, first of all, the very first thing, there were lots of announcements. The very first thing they announced was that they're going to have a Cyberpunk DLC, Freedom something, which I'm not sure if that's in that article or not, but that's something that they're like in 1.7 is coming out. They're going to add the ability to shoot out of cars because every other goddamn game that has guns and cars and is open world can let you shoot out of it, including LA Noire. But not in Cyberpunk where I have heat-seeking shotgun bullets with the, we thought it was anyway.
Anyways,
so that's a thing. But the biggest surprise was that this DLC will not be available for older gens. So yeah, if you have a PS4, an Xbox One, you are going to have to upgrade. PC players,
this is why you get a PC and you upgrade it.
Not going to happen. I'm gonna die on this console.
Maybe you would have less issues doing video editing if you had a legit or a PC with a legit graphics card.
My problem with video editing has everything to do with the fact of time.
Oh, there's time.
All right, it's mostly time. The fact that the editor just dies every once in a while is mostly me having too many things open at once. It's like
I would offer to help video edit, except I don't have time to learn.
I don't have time in general. I remember the basics of video editing, which is how I get most of our memes done. Anyway, so that happened. Edgerunners actually pushed 2077 up on the Steam list to like number 3 on most played.
Damn.
Like Edgerunners gave a huge push up, and the 1.6 update added lots of little Edgerunner flavor and things, including Rebecca's machine gun and shotgun. There's little things from Lucy. There's David Martinez's coat. There's all these little things that like people who played Edgerunners would go, "Oh yay!" And I'm like, it doesn't really do too much for me. Although that shotgun is damn powerful and I enjoy it. I'm like, ooh, legendary shotgun, mine. Mine now. I don't have to wait now. This is mine. This is what we're using for the next couple levels till I get the even bigger shotgun.
Nice.
I did find it hilarious that everyone's been making like Edgerunner builds of all the characters, and I found out that Rebecca's build is just my character. I'm like, I already have this build.
I have
The,
this
the,
build.
the only difference is I don't know why I didn't use large machine guns. Now I do, and I had to swap my Sandavesti into a Berserker mod instead. And I'm like, oh, this is actually much easier. Now I don't die as often, and the Sandavestian, they're right, it works better with melee than it does with shotguns, because bullets, you fire them and they just stand there because you're moving so very fast. And you're like, oh, I can leave a wall of bullets. That's cool. And walk around them now. Anyway, so CD Projekt Red is doing a ton of work and a ton of stuff, and people are asking why, and it's very obvious as to why, and it's because of just the overall hype and the overall things that have happened. I'm hoping that CD Projekt Red learns from their mistakes and builds. This is very important. They build for the lowest common denominator of tech. Last time they built for the next gen, they didn't build for the last gen, and they didn't think to themselves, "Wait, new gen's coming out the same year. Worth putting this out. That might be bad."
Build for the last gen. Build for the last gen. Get every ounce of performance out of that last gen,
and then add the extras to the new gen.
Yes,
and that's all. But for some reason, they went new gen.
If you build exclusively for the new gen and then try to backport it, that's where you start getting a lot of issues.
And that's where a lot of the issues came from. That's where a lot of the problems were, along with other issues, which Keanu Reeves can go and explain to us.
In 2077, what makes someone a criminal? Getting caught.
That's right. The problem was getting cock. I also, after playing Cyberpunk 2077 so many times, I'm realizing how few character creation changes there are. Like you can't decide on your weight or like your height. You're stuck with one standard build, male or female build, and then you can have a vagina or a penis or neither. And I'm like, why would I want to have neither vagina or penis? This makes no sense to me. Anyway, so Witcher 5?
Maybe. I thought I heard that it was going to be a not necessarily a sequel, but like a spinoff.
We've had spinoffs, and if it isn't the main character, I don't think anyone really cares. You need to have what's his name?
I haven't played any of the Witcher games, but I thought that his story was mostly done. His story is done.
My problem is that his story is done, and I'm not sure where you go from here.
Yeah, I mean, if you write a good story, and you do your world building, like you can have a good story without good world building.
Mm-hmm. We
talk about the wizarding world of Harry Potter, but to be quite honest, J.K. Rowling didn't do a good job of world building.
No, it had a lot of holes.
It had massive holes,
and a lot of people point that out. But everyone enjoys the story because the story of the hero's journey, which is Harry Potter, and destroying the dark evil wizard. That's the whole point of the story.
Yeah, like a mix of growing up and another form of the Messiah and a bunch of other stuff in that mix that makes the good story.
Yeah, that's all.
That's also well executed.
For his name starts with a J, but I can't remember his name. For the Witcher storyline, it was essentially find this girl, protect her, build her up into being a strong leader, and then I think he dies at the end because the whole point of the Witcher is that the Witcher can't have kids.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure how this works. I don't
know.
That
cuts off the next generation, so you can't do that story.
You would need a new Witcher. You would need a Pathfinder, if you will. And we've seen how all that's gone.
That's currently a trash fire.
That's dead. That is dead. No, we are never getting an Andromeda 2. Let's be honest about this. They sat there. They went. We fucked up.
I thought when you said Pathfinder, I thought you were going the Pathfinder RPG, which is a trash fire.
Which is also a trash fire. That's the difference.
No, you went Mass Effect, which is a trash fire.
You know, let's never name anything Pathfinder ever again. They just seem to turn into trash fires. What's next? What's next?
I've actually lost track of where we're at. Beyond Good and Evil 2 overtakes Guinness record. Longest
Duke
game.
Nukem.
I'm not even aware of this series.
You don't know about Beyond Good and Evil 2? So Beyond Good and Evil was a PC game from the mid to early 90s. And they've been working on Beyond Good and Evil 2 since, well, Brady Games still made walkthroughs.
Wow.
It has been over 20 years now. It's maybe closer to 30. And
like, I recognize the characters in this art, but
yes. But we have heard nothing about it. This thing is still in production. No one really knows what's going on with it. They don't give us updates. So this has still been in production, supposedly. They're still getting money from someone.
Ubisoft is in fact a big company.
Mm-hmm.
And it says here that they've committed to it in 2016 and 2020. That's now almost 2023.
So
nothing. I mean, Duke Nukem kind of was a meme because you would hear something every once in a while about Duke Nukem Forever.
Beyond Good and Evil 2.
You would get a trailer. You would get a trailer. You would get
some character art. You'd get something.
You would get an announcement of yet another engine change.
Yes. This has been quiet the whole time, but has apparently still been in production this whole time. But they don't explain what's going on, what engine they're working with, what they're doing. Everything is just quiet.
Yeah.
And we're all like, okay. Is it still in production? Yes. Are you sure? Anyway, so that's an ongoing thing.
And also, Duke Nukem was kind of a I think that'll probably, even if Beyond Good and Evil 2 actually comes out, Duke Nukem will still be noteworthy because that was a beloved franchise.
It was a very beloved franchise, and everyone enjoyed it, except when it finally came out, and we're all like, these are all old jokes, dude.
Well, the jokes have become good again.
I
they're
mean,
now edgy again.
They're now edgy again. That's true.
It's like it's gone from this is all overdone. This is D-Generation X shit, and that's old to these are verboten, which means it's good now.
How did that happen? All right. Okay. What is next?
Bad news for you for buying something on Twitch.
Buying something on Twitch, or
the KOTOR Switch DLC has missed its release window.
Yes, it has. That's unfortunate.
I think it's because Aspire's in trouble.
I'm pretty sure didn't they just get bought out by someone else?
Well, they got bought by they were bought by whatchamacallit, what used to be THQ Nord.
Yeah.
But once they got bought, they had the KOTOR remake taken away. So this could be related to that.
Maybe. I have no clue, but I'm annoyed by this because all they had to do was update, and they did not, and I'm annoyed, and it should have happened, but it didn't. So
the DLC we're talking about is the bringing the restored content mod to Switch.
Which that's the true ending, essentially.
Well, it's not even the true ending. It's like it goes from a 50% complete game to a 80% complete game.
Hey,
there's still stuff missing.
I mean, that's better than most EA titles at this point in time. So
yeah.
I mean, Cyberpunk 2077 is just now reaching 80% completion. You know what's really annoying about that game is that there's this area you can drive to in Cyberpunk 2077 that if you drive through it, the game just goes, nope, you can't go that way. It just turns you around. You're like, okay, all right. Like everywhere else has like a giant wall of some kind, whereas this is clearly like some highway I'm supposed to drive through to go to somewhere else. The game's like, no. And I go, okay, well, that's not unlocked yet. And now to unlock it, I'm gonna have to get a new system.
Yep.
That's fine. That's okay. I enjoy 2077. I enjoy the game. I enjoy the content. I don't like being banned because it glitches.
That still makes me laugh.
I'm still angry about that. I'm just like, how dare you? I have good reasons for being banned. Don't just hit me with something stupid.
At least when KOTOR 2 glitches on PC, it doesn't glitch like that.
Well, it's not my fault that I can choose how big my thing is. I was just like, I'm going to create my character. Big old penis.
When KOTOR 2 glitches, it's usually because A, the game is so old that it's trying to call things that no longer exist in the x86 code base.
Probably.
Or B, because you've put so many mods in and they've conflicted and it just blue screens.
Yeah, you know, I'm waiting for someone to make a sexy anime girl KOTOR 2 mod. Just jiggle physics boobs. That's all I need.
Does the engine even support that?
Don't care. Make it happen.
I know that they were working on porting everything to the Unreal Engine, and that got killed because they were going to do the remake with Aspire.
Yep.
Aspire, excuse me.
Whatever. Moving on. What's next? Are we just all video game news?
Just sort of video game news, sort of anime news, because it's Genshin.
Video game news.
So,
Genshin Impact conquers London with massive 6-foot-tall Paimon anime girl. My question is this a stuffed animal? Is it a statue? Is this a blimp? Is this a balloon? What is this thing?
It was an inflatable
thing. Okay.
Thing. And they just put it on a barge and floated it down the river.
All right, whatever.
Floated it down the Thames.
Well, this is just China showing their superiority over the rest of the West. It's like, hey, I bet you guys wish you could make a free game as that makes as much money as we do.
They're trying to distract us at why can't I speak tonight?
Because of China.
Because my brain's fried from 3 weeks of midterms, Hal.
Yeah.
And I'm only midway through it. They're trying to distract us from their banking industry imploding.
Well, I mean,
China's still strong. We can distract you here. We can float anime girls down your river. Well, one, anime is Japanese. They're stealing that, China. Two, how about your real estate industry?
See, I'm more interested in the Renaissance style painting of boobs in the bottom right hand corner. Whoops. AI art has learned how to make boobs, and we're all like, do this.
I've been trying to get Stable Diffusion to do what I want without having to download it, and it won't.
No,
it keeps on saying no. This is too close to porn.
And it's like, why won't you let me do what I want? I'm like, knife ear, big booty, Renaissance painting, and it's just like, boop. I went, how'd you know knife ear meant elves? How did you know, AI? Why do you know slurs for elves?
Anyways,
what is next? We have 10 minutes.
We have anime news.
Anime news. Finally something new.
Or maybe it's fast food news.
Let's go with the anime. Go.
Well, no, it's both because it's KFC made an Evangelion meme, and Spanish Twitter went nuts.
Why are we still on this? What? Evangelion's over with. Stop it. It's done. It's finished. Ano has nothing to add.
No, he's making new versions of Evangelion 3.0 plus 1.0.
No, I refuse. I refuse.
He's doing the Lucas Special Edition shit because, of course, he is.
That's fine. Whatever. That's not the same as making more content.
He's also said a couple of times he has more stories to tell in the Evangelion universe.
As long as
he can't give up the cash cow.
You have to let go eventually and sell it to Disney. You have to.
Don't
just look at Bleach.
So anyway, KFC in Spain, who's done some anime memes before, put out this meme. You there?
What happened? Okay, that was weird.
Okay, so KFC in Spain put out this meme, and Latin American Twitter went off.
Well, Latin American Twitter gets everything late, so that makes sense.
That they went nuts about it, and then it started to filter into Japanese Twitter, and Japanese Twitter was just like, "Okay, that's cool." I kept it moving.
Look. All right, as long as this doesn't interfere with my sexy Colonel Sanders Chickendales idea, we're fine. It's a brilliant plan.
Circling this back to about the same time this was happening, circling back to wrestling, someone showed former wrestling manager and booker / promoter Jim Cornette the KFC Colonel Sanders dating simulator, and it broke his mind. And now people are just showing him sending him examples of stuff from dating simulators.
No, as long as he doesn't.
He's using them to cut promos about why Kenny Omega sucks.
I mean, let's go with that. What's next?
Entertainment news.
Entertainment news.
I haven't watched this video, so you would have to explain it to me.
Disney SEC whistleblower. So an SEC whistleblower forever ago. She was fired essentially, and she was like, "Hey, I have whistleblower rights, blah blah blah, et cetera, yada yada."
Right.
And the SEC is like, "You need to go and pay her for the time she was there. You have to pay her for her severance. You can't just fire her like that. You can't do these things. Whistleblowers are allowed to go and whistleblow. It's what they do." So now she is, with the help of the SEC, getting her wages given back to her by Disney, and Disney's also getting fined by it because Disney did some shady business dealings and are now in trouble. We've known about these business dealings forever. They're from like the mid to late 90s. So they are forever old stuff. But Disney has been fighting giving this woman her wages for 20 years. Yeah.
Wow. Well, it says 2017, but...
Well, I think that's when the SEC finally stepped in.
Okay. But...
Like this has been going on forever. So, and the SEC finally went, "Listen, you have to do it. You have to do it." Like this is like me with Amazon, where I finally got the Department of Labor to step in and go, "Hey, we're gonna talk this with you, and we're gonna have a hearing, and then we're gonna see what happens from here." I go, "Cool, great, awesome." So just waiting on that to go forward because you can only go, "Hey, you owe me this money. You kind of have to pay me." "No, we don't." "Okay, all right. I'm hearing you want the government involved, and the government's only good at 3 things: killing people, taxing you, and taking away your rights." Is that me or you that just froze? Okay.
I don't know.
All right. Is that our last?
That's our last thing.
All right. That is all. So we have one more show till Anime USA.
Yep. Next week.
Yep. And I'm very happy that all my stuff is done by Saturday.
Cool.
Saturday at 1 a.m., but Saturday.
Yeah. Same here. Friday and Saturday. is me.
Mm-hmm.
And it's an excuse to say hi to. I'm using Anime USA as an excuse to say hi to family. So
Works for me. I'm using it as an excuse to just get one last con in.
one last con in without having to go to Wisconsin.
I wanted to go to Wisconsin, but if we couldn't get an in with the staff, I don't think they were going to make us guests.
Yeah, we couldn't get it in, so
it's like, all right, well, we'll do something different then. I am going to start emailing Prime, like, hey, I do this with you guys, and we've been known to do well. How would you like to have us as a guest? And just getting the rest of the team on board to go to Ohio for a weekend.
Ohio. Not a great place.
It's not, but it's
0 out of 5 would not recommend.
It's too hot, it's too cold, it's too flat.
And so it's not flat because I'm kind of in a hilly part of Ohio.
Sounds like
once you get past like a little bit west of Akron, it is flat as shit. Like I didn't believe. Like I've been to Colossal before. I didn't believe the Colossal 21 Plus. The 21 Plus group say Ohio's flat and it's all corn. Then I drove to Indiana across the entire state of Ohio.
And you're like, it's all flat.
Once I get a little bit past Akron, it is flat as shit and it's all corn.
There you go. That's all it is. That's fine. I'm very excited because you should be excited too, because in 16 days, Royal comes out for PC, Xbox, and Switch. So cool. P5 Royal. I know you've been waiting to play that.
Yeah. And I've been waiting to play it on PC instead of PS4.
That's fine. I might have I'm finding that making video guides for RPGs are really difficult, but just writing out guides is much easier. So I might just do like a timeline guide and put it up on the website. Like here you guys go, and let people figure it out. Because Persona 5, it's very hard to get lost. It has like an exclamation point. Here's where your next thing is, except for like time management days. In which case, I can tell you this is how you get the maximum amount of whatever you need. This is how you do it. It's right here. But it's a matter of getting that all done. So I'm going to probably write that up. I'm actually replaying 5 right now because I'm like, oh, we have 2 weeks. If I play this now, I can get all my information and make sure I have it right. But it's going to be a little bit different than everyone else's game because, well, I don't know, how do I put this? Because I played 5 original, I have all this extra money given to me at the beginning of the game because I have a save data game from 5 original. If I were you, though, I would grab the free DLC as soon as possible. And then if you want to buy all the extra personas and costumes are worth it, especially the Persona 3 and Persona 4 costumes.
Okay.
Those are both worth it because the Persona 4 costume gives you an accessory that increases experience gain, and the Persona 3 one gives you an accessory that increases money gain. So those 2 are very good. Highly suggest. 10 out of 10. And I think everything else is free-ish.
Cool.
Like the Halloween costumes and the Christmas costumes and the dancing all night costumes. So that's all things. Oh, he does that every single time. Every damn time he does that. Well, this has been the Geek Posium. Hi, Ty.
I'm sorry.
I purposely immediately cut off your screen so that we could go straight to this. So you wouldn't touch anything. You still did it. You're like, I'm just gonna. Damn it. It's fine. It's all right. I think we're gonna have a bad time at Anime USA overall.
Oh,
mask mandate. We're gonna be miserable the whole time. We have nowhere to hide.
You do have
McDonald's.
You do have a point.
Yeah.
Well, getting the help. Well, that's one of the reasons we do also have a drive.
Yeah, doesn't help.
The drive should help though.
Yeah, I mean,
because it's like we do kind of have a place to hide.
Yeah, it's just gonna suck.
A little bit.
It's gonna just suck. I don't know if Mainly Battleships will be at Anime USA. Have you seen the schedule yet?
I haven't seen the schedule yet.
Like I got my schedule for my things, but I haven't
Yeah, I
seen
got
the
my
physical
schedule.
schedule.
Yeah, I got my schedule for my stuff, but
If Max isn't there,
I haven't seen anything about a guidebook or anything.
yep. You know, if Max isn't there, that'll be a thing. That'll be a thing. This will be like the second con I've done by myself without the rest of the team this year. So not a huge deal for me personally. It's like, oh, here we are. We're doing this alone. No big deal. Except for the fact that I don't like doing these shows alone because it means I have to monitor my own pacing, which is annoying. The dog has been crying at my door. I can hear him. I'm like, why are you crying? Why do you want to come into my room? You have your own place upstairs, far away from me.
Oh, I might need a. I'm looking through. Mainly Bats are not a guest, so I don't think they're coming.
Oh, look at that. Well,
They don't have much in the way of guests. They do have Tiffany Grant.
I don't know who that is, so here we are.
Tiffany Grant is OG Asuka.
Okay.
And Asuka once again, because reasons
and stuff. All right, well, there we are.
She was in Girls in Panzer Das finale.
Oh,
I might have her sign my DVD.
there you go. All right, well, this has been the Geek Posium. I'm going to leave you guys with a sad song at the end because those of you who have watched Edge Runners will know. Those of you who haven't won't. So, good night, everybody.